We're all just trying to figure out this crazy inner world of ours, right? To make sense of all the noise. But what if, in that search, we've been using only half of the toolkit that's available to us?
You know that feeling, right? You're scrolling and scrolling, overstimulated by absolutely everything, yet somehow you feel disconnected. Like you're swimming in all this digital noise, just looking for something, anything, that feels real.
So, what's our first move? Instinctively, we grab our headphones, right? We throw on a playlist. It's our go-to fix for that modern-day burnout. And yeah, it helps, for a minute. But is it really getting to the heart of what's going on? Is it the complete solution?
Well, here's the thing. We often treat music and poetry like they're in competition. Music is the daily essential and poetry is, well, maybe something a little old-fashioned we pull out once in a while. But they're not rivals at all. They're a team. They're a complementary toolkit for the human spirit. And to really thrive, we need both.
Okay, so to really get the hang of using this toolkit, we've got to understand their unique jobs. Let's think of them as two very different instruments, each designed for a very specific and very crucial purpose in our inner lives. Getting their roles straight is the key to everything. And this, right here, breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you've got music, the mood regulator. It's immediate. It's physical. It doesn't even bother with language. It just shifts your state and gives you that neurochemical cocktail of dopamine and serotonin. Then on the other side, you've got poetry, the meaning maker. This is a thinking tool. It uses language to help us unpack those really complex, high-res emotions, the kind of simple melody just can't quite articulate.
And that really gets at music's raw power. It doesn't need permission from your analytical brain. Nope, it just walks right in and talks directly to your emotional core. You don't have to get a song to feel it. It just works.
But poetry, now that's a different game. It wants to engage your cognitive brain. It gives you the incredible precision of language to finally put a name to those feelings you've had forever, but just couldn't pin down. It's that amazing name it to tame it effect. The second you can describe a feeling, you suddenly have a little bit of power over it.
And get this isn't just some abstract, artsy theory. These differences are real, they're measurable, right down to our biology. Let's take a look at the actual science here.
So check out this study with cancer patients. It's pretty profound. Take a look at the data. Both music and poetry helped reduce physical pain, right? But look closer. Only poetry gave a significant boost to what researchers call hope scores. Now, if you're facing something that serious, hope isn't just a nice to have, it's a lifeline. It shows that while music helps us feel better right now, poetry gives us the framework to find a way forward.
The impact is also deeply physical. Reading rhythmic poetry can actually improve your heart rate variability, your HRV. Now, a high HRV is basically just a sign that your nervous system is healthy, adaptable, and good at handling stress. The rhythm and cadence of a poem can literally teach your body how to find a calmer, more centered baseline. It's wild. But maybe the most incredible job poetry has is revealed in our absolute darkest moments. During intense trauma, something wild happens in the brain. The language centers in the left hemisphere can just go offline. We literally lose our words. But because poetry leans so heavily on metaphor and imagery, it activates the other side of the brain.
The right hemisphere, it creates a neurological bypass, a workaround that gives people a path to find their voice again when literal, everyday speech has completely failed them.
So, the science is mind-blowing, right? But how do we actually use this stuff in our day-to-day lives? Well, the best way to think about it is with a really simple metaphor: managing your inner weather versus understanding your inner climate.
Let's look at this chart. Music is your go-to for the weather, those short-term passing moods. You need a quick shot of motivation, or you need to calm down some sudden stress. Music is your tool. But poetry? That's for the climate. That's for your deeper, long-term internal landscape. When you need to make sense of a confusing life event or really cultivate some deep clarity, poetry gives you the structure for that.
But here's the real pro move. The most powerful strategy isn't choosing one or the other. It's using them together, in a sequence. Step 1. Use music to feel. Let it lower your guard and just open that emotional door. Then step 2, once that feeling is out in the open, use poetry to understand it, to ground that raw emotion in meaning and language. See? Music moves the heart, and then poetry helps the mind figure out why it was moved.
And this is what it means to build an integrated inner life. I mean, think about it. A soul that only has music might feel a ton, but not know where it's going. And a soul that only has poetry might understand everything, but lack the energy to actually do anything. We need both. We need the melody to keep us going and the map to tell us where we are.
So here's how you can start, like today.
Try a 5-minute music break to shift your state before a tough conversation. Or maybe a 10-minute poetry ritual before you go to bed, just to process the day. By bringing both into your life, you stop just reacting to your moods and you start actively cultivating a landscape of real, lasting fulfillment.
So, take a second. Think about your own routine. Which part of this toolkit have you maybe been neglecting a little bit? Which tool are you going to reach for today?